Hey Barbie, what's your scene?
My obsession, my prized possession, my vibe, my tribe, my scene.
11.5-inch dolls.
When I was a child, my scene is what I thought being an adult was going to be like. I really thought I was going to put on my brown leather boots and my brown leather jacket and my sparkly top, and I was going to go out on the town with a group of 6 or 7 girls like I was Taylor Swift. Growing up instead became wearing my comfy, being home by 7 p.m., and watching YouTube videos all night. Not that that's a bad thing, but you know, Barbie could have warned me about that possibility. My scene wasn't like regular Barbie. My scene was cool Barbie. My scene was like the training wheels before you grew up to be the kind of woman who watches Sex and the City and Gossip Girl. There is so much drama in these movies, and I'm here for it. Today, I am going to be deep diving into the My Scene cinematic universe. The MYCU, if you will, or if you won't. Together, we will be rediscovering the it girls of our childhoods. Before we can get into what My Scene is all about, first we actually have to talk about the Bratz dolls.
Passion for fashion, you gotta self-express in the way you dress. If you got attitude, make your fashion move.
Don't theorize, accessorize.
Because My Scene was not conceived all on its own. Oh no, it was actually a Bratz ripoff. If you remember being a child when Bratz dolls were very popular, they had the adults in a tizzy because they were a little slutty. They wore mini skirts. All their outfits were very leggy. And I mean, to be fair, is that not how we dress now? Or rather, is that not how I wish I dressed, but instead I'm wearing this all the time? Kylie Jenner, for example, I think is very Bratz coded. And I would argue that 1, she is very influential to the fashion scene, and 2, she was probably influenced by Bratz dolls herself because she was a little girl when they were very popular. And she even had a collab with Bratz recently. You can buy Kylie Jenner Bratz dolls. She looks like she could fit right in with the crew. So Bratz were either ahead of the fashion curve or they were directly influencing it. And you see, Mattel became jealous of this. Mattel had Barbie, and Barbie's image is the woman who can do anything. An astronaut, a pop star, a mermaid even, if that suits your fancy. But Barbie wasn't cool per se. She wasn't a city girl. Barbie was not the kind of girl who was going to the club until My Scene. So Mattel did what any capitalistic corporation would do in this situation, and they ripped Bratz right off. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of glad they did because My Scene is that girl. Just like the Bratz, My Scene was made up of a core group of girls, and then they would occasionally have guest stars who can act as like extras. Both brands are fashion dolls, they both have a diverse group of friends, and they both have an aspirational older girl aesthetic, meaning that young girls looked up to the Bratz and the My Scene girls since they were meant to portray the teenage years and young adult years. If you ask me though, Bratz feels more teenagehood, and My Scene definitely feels more young adult, early 20s vibes. So each of the My Scene girls were named after different locations in New York City. All of them except for Barbie. We have Madison, Delancey, Chelsea, and Noli. Barbie was not named after a street in New York, obviously. Barbie is there because Mattel felt like at first they wanted Barbie to be included in the My Scene brand. Although years later, and I don't know if you guys remember this, please tell me in the comments if you do, but Barbie was actually replaced with Kennedy.
That club was the coolest. Girl, you were tearing up the dance floor. More like tripping all over it.
Oh, you know who would have loved being here?
Oh, Barbie.
I hated Kennedy. Apparently they replaced Barbie because Mattel wanted My Scene to feel a little more separate from their Barbie TM brand. Like maybe they felt like it was too confusing for consumers. And this was a very big problem for me. The My Scene girls were already established. I didn't want this new bit. I remember the very day I found out about this. Unlike most children now, I did not grow up with Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. I wasn't even allowed to go on MySpace. So my version of going on social medias as a child was going on all these kids websites, and one of those was myscene.com. So I logged in one day, as was my usual routine, just click-clacking away with my little baby fingers, and there it was, a postcard from Barbie, and it said that she was moving away to California.
Malibu. Barbie. Malibu Barbie.
The nightmare.
The nerve.
My world was turned upside down. Barbie leaving my scene was my version of Zayn leaving One Direction. So in order to replace Barbie, Mattel created Kennedy. The reason I hated Kennedy so much is because she literally was just Barbie, but more Barbie TM. I would argue that she looked more like the kind of branding they were trying to get away from. Like the reason they changed Barbie out is because they wanted my scene to stand alone. But her replacement looked so much like regular pink Barbie TM. Like her signature color was pink and she would wear a little crown and she had more makeup on. I just don't understand why they would want to replace Barbie with essentially another, even more Barbie. Is this making any sense to you? So I do have my ideas on what Mattel could have done a little differently at this point, but I will save that for later in this video because we got to get into the movies. Before we move on, I have one more thing to show you about Kennedy and then I will be done talking about her, I promise. I found a post on Reddit that pretty much summarizes exactly my thoughts on the situation. Why Kennedy from my scene is a bitch. Okay, so like Barbie is part of the original My Scene squad. I get that she had her own thing going for her, so she moved to LA. Like, that's fine. What's not fine is the fact that her bitch ass cousin, Kennedy, comes in and steals her spot in the squad. Kennedy looks exactly like Barbie, so she can easily replace her. But not only did she take Barbie's spot in the squad, she took her boyfriend and dog. Her dog. Like, what bitch takes someone else's dog? That's sick. They're supposed to be family, and Kennedy stabs her in the back and steals her fucking dog. I'm done. That bitch. I think I actually wrote that and just totally forgot about it. Despite all the drama behind the scenes, My Scene managed to come out with 3 iconic movies, and none of them include Kennedy, thank God. I decided to watch all 3 movies again just to see if they still hold up and if I still like them all these years later. So I started with Jammin' in Jamaica, which was My Scene's very first movie that came out in 2004. Something I noticed right off the bat, I think these girls kind of hate each other. They say they're best friends, they say they always have each other's backs, but they kind of constantly show otherwise. The amount of situations that could have been resolved right away if these girls just talk to each other, it's all of them. It's all the movies this happens. For the whole brand to be about best friends, there is a lot of betrayal going on here. In the first movie, the entire conflict is that Barbie is afraid that her best friend Madison is secretly having an affair with her boyfriend. And that's the whole plot. Mind you, the target demographic for My Scene was 9 to 12 years old. They really wanted that edgy space for the Barbie brand, and they went in, like they went whole hog. First movie, cheating scandal. They don't go as far as to have Madison and River have a real affair. They're not even actually cheating, but they got close enough. These two make it really hard to defend that something isn't going on here. For context, River's band is competing in a competition in Jamaica, and Madison is their manager / songwriter.
I can't believe the guys in Madison are in Jamaica, and we're here.
I know. You'd think there'd be some kind of groupie deal for contest winners.
So she gets to go with them, but Barbie and the other girls don't. And Barbie's cool with it at first, but then she starts to get kind of weird vibes all the way from New York.
I'm calling Madison.
Hey guys, check out Madison.
Hello?
Hey, it's me.
Hey, I am so glad you called. I miss you guys like crazy. This place is so great, and Delancey's house is— Madison! Hey, you got— put me down! Hello?
Barbie's not dumb. She knows Madison is a baddie. They're in Jamaica. They're in bikinis. They're drinking martinis. They're eating zucchinis and linguinis. You know what happens. One thing leads to another.
We thought they'd be working on band stuff the whole time, but they're not.
Yeah, but there's still no way our parents would have shelled out megabucks just so we could hang with our friends in Jamaica.
What if our parents didn't have to? I mean, they're still there for a week. I can find cheap fares online, and if we work like crazy for a couple days, we could pay for it ourselves.
I could walk a dog or two.
Barbie is so worried about this that she manages to manipulate her friends into working these odd jobs and begging their parents, like literally making PowerPoint presentations in order to let them go to Jamaica by themselves. She frames it like, oh, it'll be so fun. I want to go to Jamaica too. Like, let's all go. It'll be like a fun vacation. But let's be real. She was crashing out.
No way. It's River.
You guys, come on. Shh. Hello? Not much, just hanging out. You? Oh, the Guava Gulch. Sounds great.
Barbie gets to Jamaica and surprises River. Do you guys remember Couch Girl on TikTok? If you don't know about it, it's a TikTok where this girl surprises her boyfriend at college, but when she arrives, the boyfriend looks very uncomfortable. That is kind of what Barbie is feeling. And I kind of see where Barbie is coming from, because why is Madison looking at River like that? To top it all off, Madison reveals that she had a dream about River at one point.
Hey, remember that dream you had about you and River?
What about it?
I don't know. You guys didn't... I mean, it's not like before we got here.
No, tell me that's not what you and Chelsea were whispering about.
No, not really.
Not really? Oh, no, you, huh? Swear to me you didn't tell Barbie about that stupid river dream I had.
I didn't say a word.
Why? Because she's being super weird to me.
And I think she means like... It's hard not to get the wrong idea, man. And Madison decides to confront River about this herself, because she's like, wait, everyone thinks that I'm flirting with him. Maybe I'm crazy. Like, does he think something's going on here? And River's reaction does not help at all.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Okay. We're really good friends, and we're hanging out a lot, and it's totally cool, but we are just friends, right? I mean, it's not like there's something else.
No. I mean, yeah, just friends. Why? Did you think something else?
No, no way. No, totally just friends.
Hello? There was a lot of tension there, right? River responds way too hopefully. He's like, damn, these baddies are fighting over me. This is a dream come true for him, honestly. He does deny that anything is going on between them, but then he does this.
You know, we never would have gotten anywhere without your songs.
I never would have gotten anywhere without your voice. I guess we're just really good together.
You kidding? We're perfect together.
I would be running, crying too, because what do you mean? We're just gonna hug it out after confessing what seems like a proclamation of love? And to be fair, you can honestly also argue that Barbie is tripping as well, because Madison is the band's manager, she is the songwriter, so she had a right to be in Jamaica, she had a right to be hanging out with the band a lot, maybe little one-on-one sessions, like maybe it got a little Daisy Jones. Barbie was honestly expecting this to be a romantic getaway between her and River, when honestly she's kind of just crashing his business trip. Like, what did you think was gonna happen? Girl, if you wanted a vacation with your man, just do that. So at the end of the movie, Barbie realizes maybe she was overthinking things a little bit, and maybe she should have given the band some space, but it is also kind of framed that Madison was also in the wrong for kind of being all over Barbie's man. And I do notice that that's kind of a theme with these My Scene movies, and it's that Madison tends to be problematic a lot. In 2 out of the 3 movies, she is the main point of contention. And I know that 2 times isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. And when you have only 3 movies, that's enough. For example, in My Scene Goes Hollywood, which by the way, they don't even actually go to Hollywood. The whole movie is set in New York. Hollywood actually comes to them. There's a movie being shot in their city, and the girls are like, hey, let's sneak on set and see if we can watch. And then when the girls are on the set, they then are like,
why watch it when we can be in it?
And Madison is actually against this at first.
No way will they think we're really extras.
Like, she's honestly not that excited about it. She's like, I kind of just want to watch. Like, we don't need to be in this movie. And her friends essentially get her an unwanted part-time job because their trick works, and they end up being extras on this movie for like 2 weeks.
Did she say tomorrow? As in we're officially a part of this movie?
Did she say 6 a.m.? I've never even seen 6 a.m.
This gave me so much hope when I was a little kid. I was like, oh my God, I can literally just sneak on set and become famous. Like, lower your expectations, girly. So they find out there's a really big star attached to this project.
Oh my gosh. It's Lindsay Lohan. I know. I can't believe it.
And it's actually her. She is voicing the character that she plays in the movie.
Madison, this script is fantastic. I'm calling my agent right now and telling him we have to make it.
I don't know why this starstruck me so bad when I was a kid. Like, I really thought I was about to meet Lindsay Lohan. Her character design was done really well. I would just want to add this. Sometimes when cartoons depict celebrities, they overly draw them to the point of gruesome detail. Obviously, we want to know who these celebrities are, but it's really funny when no one else in the entire world that they live in looks anything like that. But they did somehow manage to get Lindsay to look really good in this movie. She somehow looks exactly like herself, but also exactly like every other My Scene girl. So while they're working on this movie, apparently one of the other major co-stars is no longer able to make it, and suddenly they have an opening.
It's Samantha. We got a call from her agent. She was rollerblading to the set and broke her leg.
What are you telling me? She can't do the film? No, we'll find somebody else. One of the extras, maybe.
And Madison gets lucky, and she's the one who gets pulled in to replace this co-star. It's a small part, it's only like 5 lines, but it's a huge deal to everyone. And honestly, at first, everyone is very excited for her. Then it starts to get to her head a little bit.
I need a double shot iced half-calf non-fat soy mocha latte. Thanks, you're a peach. Oh look, are those my clippings?
Your clippings?
And the other girls are not happy about it.
They're jealous.
We're not. We're happy for her. At least we were until she decided she was too good for any of her actual friends.
I do feel bad for Madison though, because as she's working with Lindsay Lohan, she starts to realize like, oh, this is just a normal girl.
I can't believe I was so nervous about meeting you. You're like the easiest person in the world to talk to.
I mean, I get it, I guess, but believe me, I'm not so intimidating. I'm just me. I just have a cool job. That's all.
But the other My Scene girls seem to only care about Lindsay Lohan for Lindsay Lohan. Like, they are just really excited that she's a celebrity, and they only really care about what they can get from Lindsay.
I want to know about all the places you get to travel for your movies and how good a friend you have to be to come along.
I have to tell you, we love your movies. All of us do. I mean, Madison has every single one on DVD.
Barbie?
Madison also develops a crush on a coworker who's supposed to be this big Hollywood celebrity. And as she gets closer to him, she starts to get embarrassed that the other girls cannot chill.
It's so funny we ran into you here. What a crazy coincidence, right?
Crazy. Weren't you guys in the trailer when I mentioned this place to Madison?
So Madison and the girls end up having this big fight. Barbie calls her out because she feels like Madison's acting better than everyone else.
You have 5 lines in a movie. That's it. And you're acting like you're too good for anyone who isn't a star.
From the minute I started hanging out with Ryan and Lindsay, you guys made it impossible to be around you. Like that night at the Buzz Lounge. Did you even notice the looks on Lindsay and Ryan's faces? I wanted to melt into the floor and disappear.
I know that Madison is in the wrong for some of the things that she's doing, but the narrative never frames Barbie and the other girls as ever doing wrong in this movie, and I don't like that, because a little bit Barbie and the other girls were kind of clout chasing. They can't seem to just be cool, but then again, Madison also becomes a little bit of a diva, so you know, they're all our problematic faves. So eventually our co-star does break up with Madison, in a very brutal way.
So I wanted to make sure we got some time together, you know, before you go away.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't this weekend. I got stuff to do.
I could come with you.
You want to crash the parties and the charity thing?
Well, it wouldn't be crashing. I mean, they'd let you bring your girlfriend, right?
Well, yeah, if I had a girlfriend, sure, but then I wouldn't have as much fun going to the parties, right?
They were hooking up the whole movie, and right before he goes back to Hollywood, she tells him that she wants to hang out with him a little bit more before he leaves for good. And he basically is like,
if only there was someone out there who loved you.
What's crazy is that the girls are mostly happy with this until Lindsay Lohan literally shakes them by the shoulders.
You guys should go check on Madison.
Yeah, right.
You know what? She's your friend, and she just got really hurt.
Good. Now she knows how it feels.
I've seen what she's going through a million times, and trust me, she needs her friends right now. Hey, if that's not what you really are, I guess she was wrong.
This is really off topic, by the way, but I felt like I couldn't move on from this movie without mentioning this. Lindsay Lohan is not the only celebrity in this movie, and I'm not talking about Mr. Co-Star either. Unless you know prior, I don't think you are going to guess accurately who it is, but I'm gonna give you a second. Nope, it's Harvey Weinstein. That was kind of a shock hearing that name while watching this childhood memory of mine. So Miramax produced My Scene Goes Hollywood. That is a company created by Harvey Weinstein. So yeah, it's a very short part, but he's only in it to be praised by the My Scene girls.
It's great, Jim. I'm really excited about it.
What? Talking to Jim. It's Harvey Weinstein. Don't you ever watch award shows? He's like the biggest producer in Hollywood.
Good job, young lady.
Thanks.
thought you should know. Anyway, Madison does get a break in Masquerade Madness, which is My Scene's second movie, if you can even call it that, because it's 27 minutes long. In this movie, Chelsea is the lead. I don't know if you noticed this, but the biggest players in the last two movies were Barbie and Madison. So Noli, Chelsea, and Delancey, they kind of just float around a little bit. I feel like the movies don't give them that much to do. They have very small parts to play while Madison and Barbie get the big moments. And in Jammin' in Jamaica, Barbie has a locket with a picture of just her and Madison. Imagine if you were one of the other girls. I'd be pissed low-key. So I was really happy that Chelsea got to break through and have her moment. I'll keep this part brief because this movie is so short. So this movie is centered around Chelsea being bad at math and basically being so scared to tell her friends that she's bad at math that she creates a fake relationship to hide it.
Because telling them would be quite possibly the most embarrassing thing ever. If you're not going out, what else could it be? You're right. Hudson and I are secretly going out.
So basically, Hudson, one of the boys, is tutoring her at math. But because he's around so much, the other girls start to get suspicious. And instead of just saying that he's tutoring her, Chelsea says that they're secretly dating. Oh, the web of lies! I get why Chelsea is embarrassed, but girl, you did not have to do all that. Like, what happens in this friend group that you can't just tell your friends that you're failing at math? Why did you drop out of Yale? That's how I said that. My Scene reminds me a lot of Sex and the City, and to another degree, Gossip Girl. I've only seen a little bit of Gossip Girl, so I don't feel comfortable making too deep of a comparison. And I didn't stop watching Gossip Girl because I didn't enjoy it. I actually just lost the password to my friend's HBO Max account like 4 times, and at this point, I'm way too embarrassed to ask again. So I'm locked out. My Scene and Sex and the City have a very similar vibe. They both have a group of women who live in the city. They're best friends, but somehow terrible enemies. I would especially get the Sex and the City vibe from the My Scene mini episodes that they used to post on their website. My Scene was trying to capture that it girl Manhattanite, but in a very approachable way. For example, the girls live in New York City and they have impeccable fashion taste, but they don't seem like mega rich or anything like that. In that way, My Scene definitely gives Carrie vibes. In other ways, My Scene is like Gossip Girl. In my memory, Gossip Girl is that of a friend group that is fiercely loyal, but also constantly betraying each other, but also they're best friends, but also they all secretly hate each other, but also they're all dating each other. If My Scene was a cartoon for a slightly older demographic, I don't doubt that a lot of the plot lines would be very similar. What My Scene has in common with these two shows is that they are all aspirational media. Aspirational media is all about showing off a lifestyle or fashion or a vibe that makes you think, I want to go to there. While I wouldn't want to live in the world of Gossip Girl myself because it's basically Game of Thrones in heels, there is something so addictive about watching those girls on the steps of the Met, eating their little yogurts in their designer clothing. After rewatching, My Scene gives that exact same feeling. These girls are supposed to be teenagers, but they act a lot older and have this kind of exclusive feeling lifestyle. And watching feels like you're part of a club, a scene maybe. They live in the city. New York is the place that everyone wants to travel to or live in. Their clothing, I remember I wanted to dress like them so bad. And I know that technically I can do that now, but honestly, this is the best I can do. I also think it's really clever that they used to sell the fashion doll with the corresponding movie, and the doll would wear the same outfit that she would wear in the movie. That's just brilliant. I think something else I noticed upon rewatching was the difference between My Scene and Barbie TM. It's very clear that My Scene's goal was very different from what Barbie TM's goal was. We all know that My Scene was just Mattel's version of Bratz, but in doing so, they created a version of Barbie that deviates very much from the core values of the brand. Barbie is all about empowering young women and helping them realize they can do anything they want to do, and typically in a career/life goals kind of way. My Scene is more about social desires. It let little girls experience a different side of what being older could be. I wasn't kidding when I really thought that My Scene was going to be what the adult world was going to look like. And I mean, to a degree, honestly, it's not totally inaccurate. And even though these girls do have a messy relationship, it is very fun to watch. I do hope that My Scene comes back at some point, maybe as a TV show with more dramatic plot lines. I know that everyone's sick of live action movies, but I wouldn't mind seeing a live action of My Scene, similar to how Bratz had one. I think Mattel should bring them back and expand their universe. There's so many different doll lines on the shelves right now. I know that people would absolutely go crazy if My Scene came back. I think instead of Kennedy returning, because we hate Kennedy in this house, I think the role of the main pop girly should go to Madison. She carried 2 out of these 3 movies on her back. I think she would be an excellent choice. She literally lived rent-free in Barbie's head almost the entire time. So I kind of think that that would be really cool to see. At the end of the day, I love these messy bitches, and I hope to see more of them soon. XOXO.